Welcome back to WC Bricks and building the Batcave in Lego. And there it is, it's all finished. So I hope you've enjoyed the cinematic finale that we put out. I was going to do this part of the video and stick it on the end of that finale. However, after watching back the finale, I thought, do you know what, I want to leave that as its own standalone video, and we'll do this walkthrough separately afterwards. And it's been such an enjoyable build series. I've really enjoyed every single second of it. Yeah, I'm really pleased with the end result of the mock. Hope you enjoyed the finale. Never made one before, and I did sort of like go online and look at a couple of others for inspiration, and I thought the cinematic was the ones I enjoyed the most myself, where there was no talking. I thought, you know what, let's just put some music on and show the different pictures of the mock and in its complete condition. So if we start off at the top of Manor, and I'll go over everything with this and what's happened with it. As you know, we built this and we've changed the house so many times, and the biggest change obviously at the end was making it so this opened up, and to have done that at the 11th hour, so to speak, was quite the decision, and I'm so glad that I did. I've left the wall off there just so we can show inside, but putting this feature on inside of here was definitely the right way to go, so I'm so pleased about doing it. And just the finer details, obviously having the sort of like statue of the head there, which he lifts up to press the button to open the bookcase in the 66 Batman series, the Adam West series. And obviously we've got the phone there as well. Unfortunately it's the only colour I could make it with the parts I had available. Putting all these little details in at the end was so much fun, and I really did enjoy every aspect of it. So yeah, that was quite a thing. But obviously making these changes to the house, having to lift the entire thing up by one plate, when I realised that that was going to be the best way forward, it was quite the daunting task, but it turned out to be really straightforward. It would have been nice to have done a full interior on there, but again, I've had to have peeled every layer off in order to show people around it, so that got changed. The carport finally had a beam down the middle of it and all tiled off and everything, so that's all done now. And we put a couple of little details, just like the parrot and the tree. Found a couple more owls to go on the top there. So although we couldn't have the court of owls, there was a reference to an owl in there. So the garden took absolutely ages to get sorted out, and I did remove a load of pink down here. The pink studs are the only colour that are on the pick-a-brick wall, and I'm not buying them directly off of lego.com because of how much they are. There's a lot more useful pieces I can buy. I mean, they're only like 7 cents each or something like that, I think it is. But again, they're sort of like another brick, and the mocks I'm going to be making, how often I'm going to need them, I just hope that they come on the pick-a-brick wall. So yeah, the fountain is obviously, we did alter that last minute, put a little bit of concrete sort of like look in the middle of it, so it's not just water shooting up from the bottom. And I did find one additional water trans blue piece that went on the top. But yeah, pretty pleased with how that turned out. And over here in the well, we've got a minifigure's legs standing up, so that's just sort of like to show Bruce Wayne as a child just falling down the well. It is literally just the legs stood upside down in there. I thought it was another little Easter egg just to put in there. Then when we come to this, the rock face here, now this was the biggest headache of all. Getting this operating so it went up and down was such a challenge, and it took 3 or 4 attempts that I wasn't happy with. And even now I think it would have been nicer if it sort of like wasn't as straight along that edge there, but it was one of those things that trying to get this just operational and together was so hard that something had to give in the end, and that was just the last little bit that I would say was disappointing. The road, again, I was struggling on what colour to go for on here, and I was thinking, well, if this is a rock face that's coming down, really it will be the same sort of like colour as the rock. I was about doing brown in there, but then I thought, no, it's not going to look right, and I tried a dark tan, and in the end I thought, right, I'm going for the dark grey blue tiles, and then I'm just going to put a few odd speckles of other colours in there. So that was all that. But yeah, really pleased with the end result of here. The tree, again, that was something that we did late on in the build series, and I'm really pleased with how that came out. And it'd be nice to do an Endor mock one day, and if I do that, I'm going to make sure before I start that project that I can build trees a lot better than that. So, because obviously they would need to be considerably taller a lot more part intensive, and yeah. So yeah, I think that's the top of it, pretty much all covered off. On the back here, just to show you, it was never tiled. I tiled the front row here because that's all you would see from the cinematic, and the same goes for the other one. Where you weren't seeing, I just didn't tile because I ran out of tiles, and was getting very low on tiles, and I thought, well, only going to do the bits you can see. And I mean, if you come round to the back of here, I mean, that is not something you'd like to see a lot of. I mean, look at the multicoloured there. But again, it just goes to show the structural workings that go into a mock such as this. As you can see, the battery packs there just balanced on a pick a brick cup. But yeah, and here's the tunnel from the other side. Somebody asked how many bricks were in this mock, and I have no idea. I would like to say it's close to 40,000, it could even be more than that. And the rock face on the inside, I think it's 140 studs in width, and it's about 70 this way. So if you sort of think that end 70, 140 is 210, another 70 is 280, and then this side as well, that's 350. And if I was using the 3 brick high ones, then that would be, and it's about 33 bricks high, so it's 11, so what's that, 3,850 if I was just using those alone. But there's a lot of 1x2s in there, so I'd say it's probably close to 5,000 slopes in there, because obviously you've got the peninsula bit that comes out there as well. So all of those things, it really does add up. And then even just sort of like the plant bits here, when you think of all the individual leaf elements that are all on there, all the tiles, the bridge is made up of 1x2 bricks. So again, it's sort of like 14 bricks just in one row there, and I think there's about 30 odd bricks high going across again on there. So again, it's sort of like another 3,000 or 4,000 bricks just in the bridge. The mansion again is made up of 2x1 bricks predominantly, and in some places 1x1 bricks. Again, it just all adds up. So I wouldn't at all be surprised if it is closer to 50,000 bricks. As for the cost of the mock, that is something I have no idea of. Again, I was going to try and work it out roughly because I have been asked a few times in regards to it, and all I know is that the rock pieces, they were costing around anything between 16 and 20 pence each from lego.com for over the period of time that I bought them. So that gives you a rough idea of the cost of that. But a lot of the stuff was bought with pick brick cups, like the 1x2 bricks that are in the house, for example, and also the water elements here, the 1x2 tiles, thousands and thousands of those that are on there. So again, all of these things are there, but the amount of pick brick orders I placed, and sorry, the amount of bricklink orders I placed with filler brick, again, there was so many of them. So it could be 2,000, it could be 3,000, I don't know, and I don't really want to know either. It's an investment as far as I'm concerned, because obviously a lot of these pieces, the majority of these pieces, will be reused, which again is the reason I was saying about the flower pieces not being that bothered about buying any new ones of those just yet, because I've got a lot more projects I want to do, and I need to make sure that I spend the money wisely on what we buy. So yeah, that was the reason for it. So anyway, let's go into the cave, and here we have it. And the room down there with the kryptonite in, that was at one stage going to be a trophy room. However, you're not going to fit many trophies, and I didn't have any trophies, that's the problem. So I was there trying to think of what to put in there, and I thought the kryptonite was one thing I thought would look pretty cool in a room in itself. And the only thing I'm really disappointed about with it is the fact that I can't get its actual colour to show up on camera. I'm just adjusting the camera here at the moment, and it's nowhere near as light as that. The green really does glow like the kryptonite does in the films when you see it in the cinema. So that was quite disappointing. We then got the little gym here, and we got Batman whacking the tyre with his hammer. Got Robin just doing some weights there, and then we got the punch bag there. We then built the jetty in, and we tried to add as much detail as possible into the jetty. So if I just move the bike, as you can see, we've got the tyres on there, which are so the boat can go against it and not damage the hull when it's bouncing. And then we've got another refueling canister. Got the ladder that leads up to the steps and then up into the room. And there are the steps that lead to the bottom of the lift there. We've got the 4 suit chambers, and in there we've got the different suits. Just trying to get my phone in there. And I had to take the trans blue doors off of the suit chambers because they just didn't show up. The glass really didn't do it any favours, so we had to amend that. And also, I'm not 100% happy with the lights in there. I tried numerous different things, and that was the best I could do. Again, it's one of those things, I think if I was to redo this mock, I would get the lights put in before I put the roof on, so I had a lot more manoeuvrability of my hands, because there's very little room in here, as you can see. And as best I could have done it, I needed to make sure I wasn't damaging the lights. We've got the computer terminal here, which isn't the most fantastic computer room, but again, it was due to the lack of space, really. And if we just spin the chair around here, it's we've got the bat symbol on the back of the chair. The sticker elements there from the latest Batman film set, the Batcave in there, or the terminus, should I say. And then obviously we've got the tiled floor. And here we've got a bench, which has just got a few details on. So we've got a magnifying glass there, and he's working on a detonator, some dynamite, computers, another microscope at the end there. And then there's his cowl just on top there, just next to a bat symbol again. Then we've got the weapons room, and again, it's not the biggest of weapons room, but I think it was effective. It just did the job. He's got it all on there. At the end of the day, he's not going to be going out with much more than that when he goes out. And we have another Easter egg here, and this was just a fun little one. I came across the canister there, and I thought we've got to do a Easter egg with the Batman with the shark, and he's got the shark repellent can in his hand. So again, it's a shout out to the Adam West show. And then as we come across, I would say one of my favourite parts of the rock work has got to be the two arches at the back there. I think they came out really, really well, and it was one part that managed to survive the longest out of all the rock work, I think. We then got Batman eating his lobster thermidor on his jet ski, and that's a sort of like a shout out to the Lego Batman movie film. And then we've obviously got the ramp here as well. We've got a little bat hanging underneath it. And then there's the waterfall at the back, which I was really pleased with how that came out. At one stage, I was thinking I had to use 1x2 trans clear plates, which were going to be a very expensive thing to make. However, on the pick brick wall, they had the 1x cylinders, and they worked out perfectly. Put some trans blue bricks behind it, and away we went. But yeah, and then we've got another Batman jamming with his guitar at the top there, and I have to say that's probably my favourite Batman cowl. I mean, that is just with the bat symbol over the eyes. I think it looks absolutely brilliant. And all the pathwork along here, I'm really pleased with how that has come out. On the roof, you'll see there are numerous bats. I'm just scanning, so we've got another one just there, and they've been kept up just on a brick with a Technic pin, if I can get it to focus. Yeah, so it's a brick with a Technic pin, and then they're sat on the brick. So we've got the lander pad with the canister, the refueling canister on the back, and if we move the bat wing, obviously we've got our bat symbol built into the brickwork there. The lights at the back, I mean, I've spent so long trying to get the lights to work perfectly in here, and again, it's still, the camera doesn't do it justice. It's a lot more atmospheric in there, and I've tried diffusing the lights using different colour bricks, putting plates in front of it, like white plates and everything, and it just doesn't catch it that well. I tried 2 different cameras, and it was struggling massively. As you can see here on the front, we have our bat symbol, and that is just attached purely by brick, and it goes onto the studs on there. So that was quite a simple thing, and a late addition to the mock. It was something that was always going to be going on there, and it was one of those things. Once I put it on there, I didn't want to show too much inside the cave because of the things that were going on in here. The turntable, again, was really pleased how that worked. The only problem we have with it is you have to move the Batmobile back slightly in order for it to rotate, and the ramps will go down on only one side fully, so that's the back of it. And when it comes down, it does actually go on top of it as opposed to dropping down below it, but it's only a minor thing. So we added some weapons on here, and again, this design was stolen very much from the idea was taken from the latest Lego Batman set, the Terminus. I used different clips for keeping the things in there, but the principle is pretty much the same on there. But yeah, there it is. the Batcave in its final state. So we will do another Batcave one day, there's no doubt about that at all. Obviously we've got all the parts here for it. And one of the things that somebody did suggest was about the well actually leading to a tunnel which then got into the cave, which is how he discovers the cave. And originally when my well was over here, they suggested I move it over there. I thought, oh, we'll look better over there. And then they were saying, well, but can't you do the tunnel in there? And I thought, if I do the tunnel, I've got to take this entire section off up here. It's just not possible. This here is an art plate and three to four plates, normal plates, thick, which I would have to amend to get there. And I amended it down that end to get the lift in. But after I'd done that, by the time we got to here, I built all of this on here. So I'd have had to have destroyed most of it. So unfortunately, that was never going to happen. And I would say that is going to be one thing I'm going to concentrate on going forward with my mocks, is to make sure that I plan everything a lot better. There wasn't enough forward planning with this mock. So for example, when I first did it, it was going to be part of a city. And I'm really glad that we went against putting it in the city, because if you imagine how big this is, and I'll just show you the size comparison with the modular set of the Sanctum Sanctorum. As you can see, the difference between the two, the Sanctum Sanctorum is probably not even half the width of this building. So this manor house is probably taking up over 4 in its footprint alone, if it was a square and not an L shape. So there was no way that this was going to look right in a city. You'd have 4 big buildings of some description and a manor house that dwarfs all of them, and the scale would just look ridiculous. It just wouldn't look right, which is the reason I opted in the end to not put this into a city. So originally, obviously, we had the ramp and it was going to be coming out into the city up here. Then we were going to have the ramp going up that way, and then it was going to be going up this way. And it changed so many times until then we decided to build it out here and do it as a standalone mock. And that was definitely the right decision. So Lego City is going to be starting this Wednesday, and we're going to start off by trying to work out the plans for the city and give you an idea of the insight of what we're going to be doing. And I'd like to thank everybody for the comments that they put through on the build series. We've had some people putting in regular comments and suggestions and just saying well done and things like that, and it's really appreciated. It goes a long way, and a lot of the ideas have been implemented into the build series. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. The only way this channel gets bigger is by having more subscribers, so I really do appreciate if you haven't already done so to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you can get up to date with any future projects and videos that we upload onto the channel, and share it with as many people as possible. Give it a big thumbs up. All of these things help the analytics, the algorithms on YouTube, and gets the channel out there, and it is much appreciated. Anyway, as I said before, hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for walking on by. See you soon. Bye for now.